Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z, Pothead Picker on X or Twitter. eBay is Flips and Giggles, and then that's also the name of the business, so it's Whatnot, eBay, Facebook. You'll be able to find that there. If you're a fan of the podcast, please make sure you subscribe, tell a friend. Helps me out. And yeah, another week. It's if you're not like completely overwhelmed busy right now with reselling stuff, then you're not going to take advantage of a good opportunity on Friday. Black Friday is a great opportunity to make a lot of money. Last year I fucked it up, but in years past, I just do the same thing. I just do like a 25% off sale and always do really well on eBay. But in the past, I haven't like loaded up my store with stuff. So I've just been like nonstop the last couple days, just trying to get things ready. We decided to do Whatnot is doing 24 hours. They're doing 24 hours of no... it's a commission. I think it's commission. So I think that's like the per transaction fee. So we are going to run a show in the morning at, I want to say 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock. And then we're going to do another one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we've got our raid train, our first raid train on Saturday. So we actually have like almost 40 bookmarks. So that's people who have saved it. A couple of those is, my wife, me, and then the other sellers on there. So, but we have our first raid train. Black Fridays this week. So it's just been really busy. I have some friends in town. We were supposed to hang out with them today. We kept trying to make something work, and I'm like, I don't have time today. I went through video games yesterday, and I should have probably saved those till after, because video games just, they're going to sell regardless. Those aren't going to even end up being on special. So, but now it's done. At least I went through the whole box that I had left to test everything, and everything works. A lot of complete inbox stuff. So we have, so I did that, but I'm like, I'm not going to even put those things up for Friday. So I'll probably put a couple of the cooler, like a couple different of the complete inbox ones in the buy it now for the Saturday show, the raid train. Just try to showcase like, different things that we sell. I've got some clothes, a hat. I've got some collectibles, antiques. So we've got a nice little diverse thing of stuff. We've got 15 minutes to sell. So I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to try to get as many followers because we're going to be selling a lot on Friday. So I just want to try to convert as many people to, buyers as we can on Saturday. And Saturday's my birthday. My wife's birthday's tomorrow on Thanksgiving. So sad. Hold on, sorry. My wife left me here with the kids, so I'm trying to make sure that they're good. I have to have the sound off, so I'm just they will yell down to me if they need something. Sorry about that. So yeah, my wife took off. What was I saying? Yeah, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. My wife's birthday's tomorrow. My birthday is Saturday. And we're hosting Thanksgiving tomorrow. So yeah, we're hosting Thanksgiving. We've got 3 auctions this weekend. No auction tonight, so this will come out on Wednesday. We're not doing an auction tonight. But if you're listening to this now, we're gonna go live at our normal time at 8:30 tonight, and we're just gonna do a giveaway on the Whatnot. It's just gonna be like a $5 gift card, but we're gonna just in those 5 minutes because it's like 5 minutes that it takes to do the gift card or whatever. So in those 5 minutes, we're going to explain, what we got coming up for the weekend. But it's just a chance to win a free $5. All you got to do is come in there, follow us. And, yeah. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday. So anyway, yeah, I went Christmas shopping a little bit yesterday. Well, actually, my wife's birthday's tomorrow, so I went and got her a few things. I'd already bought her some things already, but I went and got her some things yesterday. I actually got her one of the cooler things I get her. I always get her orchids. And so I was at, Target just kind of shopping around. And they had Lego orchids. So I was like, oh, sweet. I'll get her like that. She's been wanting to get into Lego. You know what I mean? She never did it as a kid, which is crazy. I'm like, I feel like this would be something that she would be good at. And so I feel like this is something that she would be good at. So I got her that, and it said ages 6 and up, so I think she should be all right to do the instructions. But yeah, and then I just kind of got a couple other things. She wanted the Joy-Con controller on the Nintendo Switch. One of the triggers or something. I can't remember what's wrong with it. There's something wrong with it. So she wanted one of those. And I can't tell if my kids are calling me or not. Hold on, I'm going to pause this. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. My kids are playing like right by the monitor. I thought they were trying to get my attention, but they're just playing. They have all their Paw Patrol shit lined up everywhere. So, the fuck was I just talking about? I don't remember. Anyway, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I started a brine for the turkey, which I actually should have to run up in a couple minutes, and it's got to cool off for a bit, so it's probably fine to do the podcast and then go up there. But this turkey's got a brine for it's supposed to be 24 hours. I don't think it needs that long. It should be fine with 18 to 20 hours, I'm sure. And because we don't usually brine it, and it's fine, you know what I mean? So I think it'll be fine either way. It'll probably be better without being too fucking brined. I brined the shit out of some pork a couple weeks ago. If you don't know what brine is, it's you make a sugar salt type mixture, and then you let the meat sit in it for X amount of time, and then it just makes it tender and moist and shit. Pretty good. So I got to do that. Working on that. And still just prepping for Black Friday. I'm trying to get as many things listed on eBay too as I can. So I listed a bunch of dolls. I don't know. I did. I must have talked about it because it was after. So last week when I went to my old hometown, picked up those dolls. So I had picked them up because they look like the comps are pretty good on them. And so I figured I would get them up, so people can start looking at them, get some interest by Black Friday. And I put them up, and they all sold. I sold out by Sunday. So, I listed them a little bit higher, some of the ones that there weren't many of. And then some of the ones that were, there were a bunch of listed. I kind of listed it a little bit lower. And so I got offers. A lot of them were from the same person. There was one person, and the same person did offer me on the most expensive one. So the most expensive one sold for $450. So I bought them on Monday, paid $200 for those and the Disney Store dolls, which I still have, which actually have already gotten a bunch of interest. Sent a bunch of offers already on them. And so I put them up on Thursday, and by Sunday I sold out of them. I think I said that already, but so most expensive one was $450. One sold for $120, another one $130, a bunch for $170, between $160 and $170. One for 35 was the least, and that one was at the very end. I probably could have waited and got a little bit more for that one, but it wasn't in the best condition, and it was the same person had bought all of them. And then I reached out because I combined shipping if you asked me to, but I reached out because they had a bunch of them, and I know they're collectible. So, and the packaging is kind of not messed up, but like it's not the best packaging. And so I just reached out and I said, do you want me to put these together, or, do you want me to separate them out? And they wanted me to send them all separately, individual. So they played shipping on every single one, which was kind of crazy. That was a lot of money to pay. So I sent those all out like already Sunday. So I sent one out, or two of them out on Friday or Saturday, and then the rest I sent out on Monday. So they were buying them, little at a time. They would buy a couple of them and then make offers on the next couple. So, and then somebody came in at the end trying to buy some. Like, do you still have this one, this one, this one? I'm like, no, those are gone. So, those were pretty good. Princess in the 12. If you ever see them when you're out, it's a good bolo. Princess in the 12. It's from 2006. And yeah, they had the whole collection except for there was some little kids that they didn't have. So they didn't have that, but they had the whole collection of these dolls. And yeah, a couple of them are pretty expensive. And mine weren't in the best shape. Like if mine were in pristine mint condition, it would have been even more money. But these ones were a little bit. And I gave a discount because they were buying a bunch. You know what I mean? I made over 1,000. Well, I paid 200. And I think the final total was like just under 1,000 maybe. So it's pretty easy money. And then, yeah. So those sold. I just sold some sneakers not too long ago. I was just sitting here doing all this other stuff. I had listed a bunch yesterday. I've only listed a couple things today, getting ready, but I've been working on the whatnot stuff today so far. And I sold a pair of sneakers that are like Save the Bees edition. So I got them a while back. I've been sitting on them for a while. They sold for like $120. So I don't know if they have to go to authentication. It's going to be annoying if I had to send it to authentication for that, because it's not that bad, because sometimes they fit in like a smaller box. But when you have to take them to FedEx, sometimes you can't use the USPS boxes, but I don't think this one would fit in one of those anyway. I ordered a bunch of USPS boxes. They've already come. Oh God. They came all over the fucking yard. So they dropped them off. Yeah, you can order them free on USPS supplies if you just look it up. But they'll send you the shit. Just make sure you know what you're ordering. I remember when I first started doing it, I had no fucking idea what I was ordering. So I ordered a bunch of shit that I could never use, and then it just sat forever. I finally just brought it to the post office, and I was like, hey, can you guys just take this? And they took it for me. So hold on a second. So yeah, I did order the stuff that I do need, and so that stuff came. I ordered something off Whatnot the other day. I won an auction for $1. I just like randomly went into somebody's sale, and there was like a wrestling. No, I paid $2. That's right. There's a wrestling figure, and it was brand new sealed wrestling figure. So $2. I ended up winning it, and don't even know. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. I just got an alert that it's coming. I'm like, I don't remember buying who it is, who the wrestler was. I think I went in and searched by sellers who had the lowest amount of people in their sale at the time. And so I went in there, and then that's how I won. So anyway, the 3 auctions we have this weekend we're doing Bratz dolls. I've had these Bratz dolls forever, and these were dolls that I had planned on doing for Whatnot. Like, when I tell you I've had them forever, they're from maybe two or 3 years ago. Because I don't like keeping things. I hate seeing them. Eventually, if they're there too long, I throw them into the yard sale. But the Bratz dolls, I know I can get some decent money for them. There's some good ones in there too. There's not just some bullshit. And so we're going to do that one. That'll be the 2 p.m. slot, because I think that'll be a little bit easier and a little shorter. And then the other one, I've got a bunch of Y2K Transformers, like Voltron stuff, Stone Protectors, Battle Trolls, all different types of vintage toys. And so that'll be at 10 o'clock. And then the raid train, I already explained how the raid train works. We actually have a bunch of bookmarks, so I'm hoping that it goes well. And, we don't look like dorks who can't get people in. And so, and hopefully like that other people get people. Hopefully like people go into our show and it's not just, like 5 or 6 people. That would be. So I'm not even going to worry about it. We're just going to focus on selling some shit. I'm going to have some buy it now stuff. And then we'll just have stuff that, we can sell for $1. That's stuff, again, that's been sitting. So that's mostly what I do, is just stuff that I need to list or something that I haven't. And I'm like, because it's not worth like a ton, but it's worth enough to start at $1. And somebody will buy it for the right price, because it's not junk. It's just good shit, just not valuable shit. So Thanksgiving tomorrow. I lost my fantasy matchup this past week. Traded the fucking house for Jackson Smith and Jigba. If you don't follow football, I won't talk about this for that long. But yeah, so now I'm kind of like, it's getting kind of sketch right now, because I've got 2 tough matchups, and I just traded a bunch of picks for JSN. So I'm hoping it works out. He got a ton of points last game, but the rest of my team did not. So I'm hoping that they can all click this week. I should have most of my team back. Got Bucky Irving coming back. And I'm hoping, it's getting close to the end of fantasy football season. It's crazy how it starts and it just flies by. Nothing goes faster than fantasy football season. And it's just like the most agonizing, I don't know how many weeks of the year. It's just torturing yourself the entire time. What's something you can't control? Oh, yeah, I got a lot of food to prep. I'm going to make potatoes au gratin. My wife wants me to make potatoes au gratin and potatoes. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry. Yeah, I need to get more garlic. I just reminded myself. I do. So she wants potatoes au gratin, and then she wants me to do mashed potatoes, but she wants me to take the garlic. I did this like 2 years ago or last year. My cousin showed me it. And so you take the garlic and you cut off just the end. So it's, kind of exposed at the end, the garlic, and you leave all like the paper and all that shit on it. And then you cook it in the oven at by itself at a certain temp. I can't remember what it is. And then when you take it out, once it's done cooking, the garlic on the inside is just like, it just kind of melts out. So you just squeeze it out, and the garlic cloves fall out into the mashed potatoes. So you do it at the end. You put them into the mashed potatoes after they're all cooked, and then you whip them into the mashed potatoes with the KitchenAid. And it essentially just makes it super smooth. And I mean, the garlic doesn't, but the garlic just adds a ton of flavor. And the garlic just melts into it. You know what I mean? It doesn't even, there's no trace of the garlic. It just completely dissolves into it. It's so fucking good. So she wants me to do that. potatoes au gratin, and then Brussels sprouts with bacon. So I have a lot of cooking to do, and I want to get all the shit prepped today. So after I do this, I've got to do a little bit more work, and then because I've just got to take a few more pictures. Once I'm done with pictures, then I just have to list until I get my fucking eyes fall out. So I'm hoping to go to the high school football game tomorrow. There's one right up the street at the local high school, and so I was going to see if one of my kids will go with me. I'm hoping my oldest will want to go. I'm hoping the youngest wants to stay home. Because somebody's got to stay home and watch the turkey. So my wife's going to have to stay home and watch the turkey. And, like, I want to go there for a little bit. Even though it's her birthday. She doesn't want to go anyway. She's like, it's too fucking cold. My kids are singing at the top of their lungs upstairs. I don't know how much longer I'm going to get to do this podcast, but I might have to pause it and put a pin in it. They're so loud right now. I can't tell if this is getting picked up on there or not. That's 3 floors up that they're that loud. That's fucking nuts. They are something else. So, yeah, this past weekend was not great for yard sales. It was super cold and rainy. So there was one sale that, where was it? It was, I don't even remember. But I went there and they didn't really have shit. And then I went to this other sale and they had advertised, like, it was an estate sale. They took some pictures, and in one of the pictures you could see a PlayStation 3. It looked like the backwards compatible one. It didn't end up being the backwards compatible one, so it's only worth about $100. But I saw it in the picture, so I was like, oh, I'll go to that one. So I went to that one, waited, hoping there would be more stuff. Went in, there was not really much else. It was just that. So I bought that. The lady was very nice, but she had no fucking idea what she was doing. She had no clue. So I helped her figure everything out. Helped her post it on another place like Craigslist or some shit. And she was like, oh, I'll let you know if we can't get rid of this stuff. You can just come and take it all for free. I'm like, I don't want. It was all like nice furniture, so I would go and get it if she's like, yes, it's free. Because I could probably get like, a couple $1,000s for it, just selling it on Marketplace. But then I have to store it, and that's the part that's a pain in the ass. That's why I don't deal with that shit. Hold on. All right, I'm going to have to pause this for a minute. All right, I'm back. Sorry. That was... Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about, but that was... Yeah, my kids, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish right now. I might have to wait till my wife gets home and then make her go up there and keep them quiet. So I had to go get the RMV the other day because my birthday's coming up. RMV, DMV, same thing. They call it RMV in Massachusetts. Massachusetts also calls driving under the influence like a DUI. They also call it OUI, operating under the influence. So Massachusetts just does things differently for whatever fucking reason. But anyway, so I had to go to the RMV. I was going to make do it online. So you can go to do it online. It tells you that you need a letter of something, which takes 5 to 7 days. I still haven't got it. And this is to do it online. You need a letter sent to you just to use the online thing. So the online thing never came in. I never got it. So I just had to go there. So I'm like, all right, I'll just get up and go early. I tried to do it on AAA too, and then I guess I don't have a AAA account. I thought I did. My wife's like, you don't. I do. I'm like, oh. She's like, yeah, but you can use it. I'm like, oh, I thought I had one this whole time, but I don't. So then I So I go to the RMV. I'm like, I'm going to get there right when they open. And there's one that's not far from me. It's about 30 minutes, so it is a little far, but they're almost never that busy. It's not a crazy populated area, but it's not in the middle of nowhere either. So it does get a little busy if you go too late. But I got there, and you go in, and the ladies, waiting at the front thing. So they have, the first line of defense. So you talk to her as she tells you tell her what you're there for. And I said I'm there to renew my license. And so I looked online before I went there, and I just brought everything that I thought I would need, because it's almost always a pain in the ass there. You get there, they're like, no, you need this, you need this. So I made sure I had backups for the things I needed. And I'm waiting, and she's like, oh, they don't start doing licensing till 9. So this was at 8:15. So she goes, so come back at 8:45. So I'm like, all right. So I go sit down, fill out the thing, and then think to myself, I'm like, oh, I should go back over there and sit closer to where I need to be so I can just jump in line. So I went over there and just pretended. All right, I got to stop this. Hold on. All right, I'm back for whatever, the third time. I had to separate these fucking kids. Oh my gosh. All right, so I go to the RMV. The lady tells me the thing, fucking blah, 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 blah. So I sit down, and I hear other people coming in, and she's telling them all, yeah, just come up at 8:45 to get a number or whatever for the licensing. So I don't really want to wait in a huge line, and I know people are going to start running up there. So at 8:40, I had already moved closer, went up and asked a question. I really did have a question about my trailer. So I was like, oh, can you, pay for the trailer while I'm here too? She's like, yeah, sure. Tell the person, whatever. And so then I went and sat close to where her stand was. And as soon as it was like 8:43, there's a couple people in line kind of for other things. I was like, all right, perfect. By the time they're done, it'll be 8:45 and I'll be first in line. And sure enough, that's what happened. And I went up, paid. No, I didn't pay. I went up, got the thing, and then went and got sat down. And they called me almost immediately. I was waiting till I thought it was going to be 9. So I was almost missed my things. I was looking at my phone, trying to text my wife, telling her like I already got a number. And they called my name again, or not my name, but my number again. And so I went over and did all my shit, like was in and out of there within 15 minutes. I was 100% prepared for them to tell me, hey, you got to fucking come back with this. You need this paper, this form. Go print it out over there on our piece of shit computer. Come back through this line. I was fully prepared to have to do that, and I didn't have to do anything. I was in and out and was on with my day. And I paid for the trailer. So I got the trailer taken care of and registered, and I got my license renewed. They're like, sir, did you know you can get the real ID? And the real ID is like this thing in Massachusetts. And I've been refusing it as much as I can. They're making it required to fly, but if you have a passport, it's fine. So I'm just going to stick with the passport. I just don't trust, like, they just, all of these fucking things are like, yeah, get on this government thing and do this government thing. Yeah, I just don't trust them. Sorry. I'm not like a conspiracy theory guy, but, I mean, kind of, but I just don't trust them to be like, hey, here's another list that we want you on. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need that. I have a passport. I'll just use that. It's cooler anyway. You look fucking cooler. Like people who who go to a bar and use that as their ID. Like, you're a fucking cool guy. So now it'll make everybody cool. So it won't be fucking lame to bring a passport as an ID to the bar. I apologize. Wednesday snuck up on me. I was like, I'm used to having to do the podcast on Wednesdays now. But I completely forgot that I had to do this today because, everything else is going on. But I didn't want to miss the Wednesday deadline. I could have probably done it later in the week, but then Friday we're super busy now. So I didn't want to miss the Wednesday deadline, and I was gonna do it on Thursday, like release it on Thursday, so it came out on Thanksgiving. But I figured I'd do it today, so if everybody's hanging out or whatever, whoever listens to it first. So yeah, all right. I think that was that with that. Oh yeah, so sorry, I didn't even finish. So Friday I go to the RMV to get my shit, and I go to renew the license, and they're like, oh, you need to get your hair cut, or get your hair cut. I'm sorry. Oh man, that's not what they said. They said you need to retake your picture. So I'm like, all right, let me retake my picture. And I just cut my hair Saturday. So this was on Friday. So I was planning to go get my hair cut the next day, and I hadn't had my hair cut in like 2 years. So my hair is long, and I was wearing a winter hat, and my hair is really my hair sucks. I hate my fucking hair. It's good when it's short and shit, but when it gets a little bit long, it's half curly, and then it's straight. So it's like straight out from the bottom, and then once it gets to the edges, it's curly. And so if I have a hat on, like this dude was brushing my hair down, and I look like fucking an Oompa Loompa because my hair at the bottom was curled around the edges. Like I was wearing like a hair helmet almost. So my hair at the bottom was curled on the edges, and it was bad. So I got the haircut on Saturday, but I had to retake my license picture on Friday. I didn't even think about that they would have to do that. So I go and do it. And of course my hair is like a hot mess. I tried to, make it look somewhat presentable, and it looks like the Son of Sam. Like my picture, if you compare the picture of that to the Son of Sam, it looks almost identical. I just have a beard, but like my face, everything. And I was smiling weird because I felt like my hair looked so insane, and I was looking. She has you sit in the chair, and there's a camera straight in front of you, but that's not the camera you look at. You look at the camera that's next to her, which is to your left. So you're basically sitting straight and having to look facing to the left. So it looks so you feel like you're very awkward. So I felt like I was awkward already. And then I was trying to smile while facing the right way and everything. And I swear to God, I feel like my smile was just really creepily, because it almost looked like a forced, like it was really bad. It was hard. It was a hard one. And so like now that's my picture. It's just me, my fucked up hair. And then the next day I got like a nice haircut. I'm like, fuck me, dude. So yeah. Not my smartest move. I didn't think about that. And I also didn't think I was going to go. I thought I was going to go on Monday to the RMV. So, and I honestly didn't think that they were going to retake my picture. I thought once you're a certain age, it's like, all right, maybe every 10 years you have to retake it. But I guess every 5 years, some people age like shit. You know what I mean? Eating hot Cheetos and shit. Drinking Mountain Dew. Onto the Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and it was in a casino. It was in a convenience store, and they have this game called Keno that you can play in certain convenience stores and restaurants and stuff. It's just numbers. You get to pick numbers, and then if your number gets pulled up, you win X amount of money depending on how many numbers you play, and name of the game, yada yada yada, all that stuff. And so they have one of those in this little convenience store where they have the Dunkin' Donuts, and there was just like a group of, originally I was like, oh shit, there's a ton of people here. So when I pulled into the parking lot, there was cars everywhere, and I just went in, thinking that there can't be that many people. It's a convenience store. And when I go in, it's just 5 to 6 old dudes, and they all have Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and they're all playing Keno. So they're just all gambling and sitting at this this convenience store. I keep saying casino, convenience store, playing Keno. And I'd never seen shit like that before. It was craziest shit ever. They're just sitting there gambling. It's legal gambling too, which is funny. So they're just all having a good, grand old fucking time. So that was pretty cool. I had that football event this last weekend, and that went well. Saw some of my old coaches. They definitely didn't remember who I was. I should have brought my Super Bowl rings. I have 2 high school Super Bowl rings, and I left them in the car because I was worried I was going to lose them. And I should have brought them in because I think I was the only one there. There's like, past football players that had been there, past and present. And I think I was the only one with 2 Super Bowl rings. So it would have been fucking cool to have that. But that would have been my only claim to fame there because everybody else was like, Hall of Fame, high school level athletes. And I was not. My claim to fame was I started the peepee tap mafia, and I forgot about that. There was a kid there. He was younger than me, like a year younger than me. And I had passed on the peepee tap mafia to a group of youngsters that were younger than me. And the peepee tap mafia was basically just me. And it was like, this is what I did at football. And I just fucked around. And I was like, I usually when you fuck around, you don't play. You know what I mean? Like, you're like the one who doesn't play. But I was actually playing and involved. And I still was just constantly fucking around. So I did the peepee tap mafia, and I was the don of the peepee tap mafia, and I would put out hits on kids, and I'd have people go and like fucking tap, peepee tap in the balls. And we would just fucking do it. We did this, one kid did it to this other kid so bad. This kid fucking, we're driving by on a bus and this kid's puking. Oh man, they got him fucking good. So when I left, I passed it down to one of the other kids. I was like, you got to continue this, the peepee tap mafia. And I asked this kid, I was like, did that thing last? He's like, no, it didn't last. I'm like, yeah, that was it. That was my one chance to get in this Hall of Fame. But, yeah, good times. Good times. I was a little fucking shit. The peepee tap mafia, dude. It was fun. We had good times. It was fun. Unless you had a hit out on you. But I used to get, my balls whacked too. It wasn't just, I wasn't excluded. I wasn't just sitting up there at the top. When you're the don of the peepee tap mafia, they're going to be coming for you. They will be coming for you. I went to a sale on Sunday. They had posted this sale a couple weeks ago, and I never saw it. Like, it never popped up. Or, not that I went to it and there was nobody there. So this time, I was like, all right, it's a little bit later in the morning. I'll go again, try it out. So I go, and it's this older lady. She's like not super old, and I get out, and she's like talking to somebody on the phone, and she's setting up, and I'm asking her, you guys open? She's, yeah, we're open. So I go, and she is getting stuff set up, talking on the phone with somebody, and I find out that it's her son, and it's his stuff, and it's freezing outside. So she's like, yeah, I'm just selling this for my son, and she starts giving me prices on stuff, and I'm like, oh, these prices she's never going to sell anything. She's not going to have anybody here because she barely posted it. I only saw it because, again, I'm a psycho looking for yard sales. And then this kid's got his poor mother on the phone there, like, trying to figure this out. So at one point, I can hear him on the phone. She was doing something, and the phone fell or something, and I can hear him on the phone. He's like, Ma, I can't see what's going on, Ma. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Get fucking poor mom out here, dude. Like, what the fuck? Jesus. Ma, I can't see what's going on. Like, just a fucking scumbag. And he had like decent shit, but it's like, dude, that's the laziest I've never seen. Like, I've seen lazy sellers have yard sales, but that is the laziest. You fucking make your poor mom go outside. She has no concept of the pricing. So then you want to stay on the phone with her, video call with her while she does it. And she's not going to make any money for you because your prices were fucking horrible. Even for yard sales, like, even if it was online, those prices were too much. So that shit was crazy. I couldn't even believe it. I've never seen anything like that. Ma, I can't see what's going on. He had a fucking Boston accent. What a fucking dork. What a fucking dork. Oh, dude, I bitched about my wife the other day, and I didn't realize I hadn't hung up the phone. He called it retarded or something. I was like, fucking retarded. Oh shit. I forget why. She was like, she was asking me for shit. My kids were asking me for shit. My fucking mom was asking me for shit. So I was just like, what the fuck? All these fucking retarded. Like, I think I was talking about everybody in general. And I thought I was off the phone. I was just bitching to myself. And she wasn't off the phone. She heard me. She's like, what? I was like, I stubbed my toe. Yeah, I got caught and then bitched out about it. I had this person, I think I've talked about this person on Whatnot, that fucking, they disappeared for a little bit and then they keep popping back up. Like, first they said that the shipping, they got charged too much for shipping. So I reached out to Whatnot, was like, hey, this customer said that they got charged too much for shipping. Then they're telling me that Whatnot didn't reimburse that shipping, which Whatnot told me they did. So I would probably, they've been consistent with everything they've done with me so far. So right there, I think you're lying. So then they get back to me. It's been a little while. They're like, hey, Whatnot still hasn't gotten me that money. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, well, I can check in with them, but there's not really much I can do on this end. I don't have the ability to refund you. There's literally not that button. So we keep going. We get to like further and further. It's, now it's gone like 3 weeks or something. I think November 6th or something. And I've reached out to customer care. I just keep getting, you can't reach out on customer's behalf. You can't like have them reach out to the customer. There's really nothing you can do. And so this person's trying to, what they were trying to do is avoid, returning the item and getting a refund. And they were trying to like circumvent Whatnot's shit. So they were trying to get tips, which aren't, taxed or anything like that, I think, or that you don't get fees on them. So they were trying to like, skirt Whatnot's fees. So finally, because they're like, if Whatnot can't get this problem solved, I talked to 2 friends who were experienced sellers and they said that you can tip me the refund. I'm like, no. That right then, I'm like, all right, and I looked online, that's against Whatnot's policy. So I reported them and they're still, they still like reached out. I finally blocked them, but they reached out after, like, all right, so I'll wait till Friday, and if I don't hear anything, then I'll leave the appropriate feedback. Like basically threatened to leave me negative feedback. So I'm hoping that Whatnot will fucking deal with it. But I don't think they'll leave feedback anyway because they're definitely like a scam artist. Like they played the long game of like, all right, like let me create a little bit of sense of urgency. But yeah, it's been a minute, so whatever. I'm not really worried about it. I don't worry so much about negative feedback as much as I do with people trying to fucking fuck me over. Because if they do it once and they're going to tell their buddies like, yo, you can fuck this guy over. You know what I mean? So, because all those little fucks talk, those fucking scammers online. But yeah, it was like, not a ton of money, and they're like, yeah, the game doesn't work. And it was a game that I tested, like, for sure. So, but all right, I don't know how much I've done today, but I've got to finish up because I've got too much to do. And my kids I can't see one of them on the monitor and they're fucking ready to come down. So I got to get on with the rest of the day because we got a ton of shit. Happy Thanksgiving. This should be out today on Wednesday. Remember, no show tonight on Whatnot. We're not doing a show tonight, but we will be going live at 8:30 with a free $5 giveaway. So jump on there if you are around. And then we've got 2 shows Friday for Black Friday, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Time subject to change, but that's the tentative time. It's 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. 10 a.m. is toys, mixed toys like, Transformers, Voltron, that types of shit. And then the 2 p.m. one is going to be Bratz. So, yeah. And then Saturday, if you're around Saturday, if you listen to this and you're around Saturday, the raid train on Saturday is a huge opportunity for us. So we would love if you could help us out. Come check it out, share it. The more of these things that we can get on and prove our worth on, the better we will do on the platform, the more money we'll make, the more content we can create, and so on and so forth. So appreciate it. If you like the show, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z, and Flips and Giggles on eBay and Whatnot. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you guys next week.